their best of 3. They are straight up out now because Meta already has a one little Mega Man helmet advantage right now. Win or go home indeed for Kreble. Meta gets Flashman stage and Kreble gets Woodman stage. Both of these should be doable with just straight Buster and no items.
Well, CrebleStar finds Blood after he finds Crash along the way, and doable with the Buster.
Nope. Although I had to compliment the Ninja Gaiden music there in the stage. I was enjoying that.
Well, eventually we do find Flash on Kreble's end.
There we go.
Hoping that this would be just as workable, but as we saw MetaLow's end, there are some blockies that are in the way, and with Buster as your main weapon, having blockies on the lower ends, yeah, you're gonna be forced to take some hits.
We're getting some Mega Man 2 Game Boy music going on right now?
Yep, that's Top Man.
The lovely squealy sounds every once in a while from it. So far, these Metroids aren't proven too much of a difficulty here on this ice jumpy bridge, so it manages to get across, get that E-Tank. Gonna help out, maybe potentially in the fight that he's got just up ahead.
So we got MetaLow first into our Flashman room. We're gonna see what boss is here. Hopefully not vanilla, and definitely not vanilla. It is Bubble Man, but we gotta see how MetaLow takes him, and he does exactly what I thought he does. He's gonna abuse Bubble Man's AI a bit. So Bubble Man has this really peculiar AI in that he never actually moves until you're actually horizontally adjacent to him. So if you can just get under that hitbox or that line of sight, you can actually pop Bubble Man from his feet and just take him out very easily.
That is interesting behavior, because you can see Bubble Man doing it again and again with Kreble, who didn't quite get that manip going. Just every time he wasn't quite at the same level, just would not move. That was fascinating. But with that, we got Flash defeated for both of them, and Item 3 from the looks of it.
So we got a vanilla Item 3 from Flashman stage. Whoop-de-derp.
Yeah, but it is helpful.
Kreble going to Bubble and finding our Buster immune shot, man. And we have Bubble from Flash, and that's not working. And that is not some good news, especially for the final stretches of Bubble Man stage you will see later, as Shotmen are very notorious for shooting players into pits in this stage.
Meanwhile, Meta is going through Metal Man stage, which don't want to do any commentary curse here, but one of the stages that can be fairly manageable, generally speaking, in comparison to like Crash or Airman in the Randomizer.
So we're pretty much under the sea in CrebleStar's case. We got our lovely shrimp, but we got a few Mets along the way. Other than that, once again, surprisingly tame. This aquatic life here is actually not as abundant as it could be.
Seems fairly vanilla, all things considered, aside from those couple of Mets positioned right where they shouldn't be. Not a bad underwater section so far at all. Airman and Metal Man.
Yep, we got another Airman sighting in Metal Man's room. So back-to-back metal rooms with Airman on.
Not Buster weak, but still managed to have a pattern that allowed the Meta to get a lot of hits in there. Easily cleared that out and gets the Airman weapon and Item 1 from that battle.
So we, at least in MetaLow's case, we get some pretty nifty items early, and he does find Crash. So with Item 1 and Item 3 in tow, this should be a fairly easy stage. Well, not necessarily easy, but definitely fast.
Manageable. Manageable, certainly. Even if there's some nasty enemy guarding the conveyor section coming up, it shouldn't be as difficult as it could have been if he ended up here at the start of the game.
Meanwhile, we find that Crashman came and went in Bowman's room, being Buster Southweek, and just pretty much just totaled Crashman as he goes to Metal Man stage next.
I get the advantage of being able to get up that Item 1 soon after and feel a little better about whatever stage he ends up in. Fat fans are not the end of the world for that conveyor section. Could have been something much worse than there to have to contend with.
Well, that depends if CrebleStar's parts buffer is on point. This can be a fairly annoying enemy to deal with, trying to get over the pits here. One bad hit, and he could easily just as quickly fall.
Manages to get through. I was actually talking about the fat fans over on the Crashman side. That was a much ruder section for fat fans to be in.
Point taken. MetaLow against the Shanky Makers on the crash climb. Actually, this is one of the more annoying enemy sets for this area. The Shanky Makers are very accurate in where they fire their shots. So, taking the E-Tank very wide.
Yeah.
Because a few more hits
smart move right there.
a few more hits from the Shanky Makers, and that pretty much would have spelled a pretty far back visit back to the checkpoint.
That was... Oh, no! Yeah, all the way back down there. Starting to manage it, and then just the rudeness of those two enemies just did not want to let them get through. Oh, and they're out of their item 3 now. That is a serious problem.
And you're pretty much committed to that right side climb. You're basically just... Oh, this is really rough for MetaLow.
So that whole thing about not wanting a commentator curse, I'm pretty sure I managed to do it once again. I'm so sorry.
CrebleStar dealing with air. Unfortunately, he doesn't necessarily know about the little situation with the conveyor belts overpowering the conveyors. If you have enough room for it to actually move, whenever you actually blow to the other side of the room, you can actually use the conveyors and negate the wind and stay on the left side of the boss room.
That basically that whole section right there with the fire chuckers right there was enough for CrebleStar to actually build back up on that lead that Meta had. It's to the point right there where he spent so much time that Kreble is gonna maybe even get a bit of an advantage at this point.
But that's if and only if he doesn't have the issues that MetaLow is dealing with right now, because he's farming for that item 3 energy, and the orange, even though the increased drop rate for this being on the easier modes, which is comparable to the normal mode in Mega Man 2, the US version, the drops are not being favorable to MetaLow to get his item energy back.
Looks like they're actually going to start using the that Squirm, the toothpaste dispenser right there, to do some farming, finish up what they get, and get all their health back too, which was actually a nice little find there as well.
Meanwhile, CrebleStar's in. He's pretty much just dispatching most of Quickman stage. Should be into the Quickman boss room not too long from now.
Trick will be whether when CrebleStar finally manages to make it to the stage, if he comes in with something that actually can act as a weakness against these guys here, he may have a serious advantage coming in.
Well,
because it did look like Meta was trying to figure out if he could kill these with any of the weapons he had. It was no dice right there.
So we got CrebleStar going to Quickman's room, and we find what? Did we just have him in the last seed in this room? I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm trying to... I think maybe. Try to remember. It wasn't Heatman. Heatman had Crash. I remember that.
Well, bravo to MetaLow for finally getting out of the crap fest that was that crash climb.
Well done.
But Heatman has been spotted on CrebleStar's end, and we don't have item 2. And we don't know where that is right now. For CrebleStar's sake, we better hope that item 2 is pretty much locked in this stage. Meanwhile, MetaLow is dealing with Metal Man in Crash stage, taking a bit of a beating. Yeah, gonna take in that safety E-Tank just so he can make sure that he survives.
The shotmen right there are weak against the quick boomerang though, so he does, Kreble does have something that he can use to actually kill them off, which is quite useful.
It looks like we found that MetaLow's gonna follow suit on CrebleStar's heals, and he's fun Heatman with that item 2. And as you can see, these shotmen have been pretty persistent in this seed. Pretty annoying enemy. Buster immune. This is the seed full of shotmen.
Worth pointing out that, again, we have the Galaxy Man music going on here. Another occurrence in these 2 seeds. Also, that item 1, once again, seems to be pretty stable and static right there. Basically the carry version of it right here. So, between seeds, getting a little bit of that French vanilla right there.
CrebleStar getting knocked into the pit by the prop top. That extended knockback thanks to the extra lag in the room, just causing CrebleStar just to gently fall to his doom.
And on this stage alone, Meta actually has a bit of a lead again. It's not one that we can really confirm full tilt yet, because we don't know how Kreble is going to handle that Crashman stage, and they're on a bit of a divergence right now between their 2 paths, but just in this one stage, Meta managed to get through that a lot quicker.
Well, he's going to need as many advantages he can get. That crash was just brutal. And of course, since MetaLow does follow suit into CrebleStar, he cannot take the advantage of having item 2 here to skip anything, so that advantage has been negated from the get-go. Of course, if item 2 was here, once again, no advantage.
I get into that whole section like it was easy breezy, just cruise right through the Yokus, nothing to worry about.
And in Heat Room, we have ourselves a Flashman sighting. Looks like a fast, jumpy boy, but he's not weak to the Buster, so it's just going to be a lot of pop shots on MetaLow's end. We're going to see if CrebleStar decides to hunt for weakness.
Actually seemed fairly manageable right there. Flash is jumping far enough at that point that without even having to worry about it, just stand in the center and fire, and Flash just bounces back and forth. Like a tether ball.
And CrebleStar does find Leaf Shield to be a soft weakness. Any weakness you can find is pretty much a good one, and indeed item 2 was locked in heat. So you were forced to do the Yoku blocks anyway, so no advantage for either runner. Still got CrebleStar going to crash, all his items in tow. MetaLow going to Airman with item 2, but we got a Fat Fan sighting. A fan feed in air, definitely not an enemy you hope to see in these areas. So quite a rude surprise for MetaLow, but he does take extra care and skillfully able to navigate between the Well, he was able to navigate against the Fat Fans, but the Met said no. So CrebleStar is about to begin the crash climb very shortly. We're going to see if he's able to either have weapons to get by it, or is able to a little more skillfully get by the rough climb full of Chanky makers.
Yeah, this will be the make or break point here for Kreble's run. If he can clear through this faster than how Meta gets through it, it's going to give him a serious advantage moving forward. Even with the death that he took in He-Man, especially because of the fact that Meta then took a death here in air, and is struggling to not take another one right now. No.
Literally just about a good pixel off. It looked like it was getting close, but the game just pretty much just flat out denying him.
Giving Kreble a chance to get caught back up, and he makes it through the climb with just like 3 quick attempts right there, doesn't even get ejected from the screen, gets through it, and that is going to give Kreble a substantial lead right now.
Yeah, I would definitely say that at this point, the lead is definitely in CrebleStar's favor. So one is, as I was saying, it needs mistakes for MetaLow's end to pretty much negate any kind of experience and skill advantage that MetaLow has on Kreble. Even though CrebleStar is experiencing Mega Man 2, the skill difference between MetaLow and CrebleStar is vast enough that skill can be a very decisive factor, so the randomizer is going to have to do it in its place, and as you can see, the randomizer isn't pulling any punches.
Meta does manage to get past that place where he died the last time. And he's going to be joined in here by Kreble, who is also going to discover the joy of these fat fans. Seriously rude placement there on that. Met just did not want to let Kreble up there.
So yeah, we finding that Kreble is experiencing the joy of fans in his way, but he does have Flash and decides to use it to pretty well knowledgeable use, making sure that he's able to get there safely and item 1 to boot.
Interesting use of the items here. It's managing to make it a little safer for him to navigate through.
Meanwhile,
wise use for them.
We do see falling crabs on MetaLow's end on the second half of the Airman stage. Didn't give him too much problems. We have a Heatman sighting in Airman's room. One that is not Buster weak, but one that looks like he's weak to Leaf.
Almost like a reverse weakness there.
Also taking note that the leaves are horizontally reversed in firing rate. One of the randomized attributes of the leaf shield is that their trajectory can be, of course, vanilla, or it can be inverted, and it's independent between directions. So once it's inverted on one direction, doesn't mean that it's inverted for the other.
Oh, that's a costly death right there, considering how far into that section it was. Kreble taking a dump off the side of that area, and Airman getting put back to the checkpoint. He was close to the boss room right there, so that's a substantial bit of a few seconds lost right there.
It didn't look like he was that far on my end, but it could be just me. But regardless of the matter, he does decide to use item 2 to fly over there quickly, so he probably saving. I was about to say he was saving a little time. Thankfully, the crab, he was far into the platform that the crab did not snipe him to a pit.
Yeah, at this point, it is so hard to know just who's got an advantage and who doesn't, because with both of them taking deaths and early resets and so forth, just the struggles on that crash tower, it is a back and forth game right now.
Actually, that is something to consider as well. I actually did forget that CrebleStar did have a couple of resets. Of course, he found Crash earlier, but he had trouble with early Woodman and reset from there once he saw the bad news about the Shotman. CrebleStar hunting for weaknesses finally stumbles upon the Woodman weakness, and now he has knowledge about how to defeat Heatman just a little bit faster, and he's on his final stage, the stage that pretty much just tripped him up earlier.
Once again, get to enjoy that Ninja Gaiden music right there. And since we now have confirmation that he's on his last stage, I have checked off the other stages that he did not have completed, so Tracker is up to date.
So once again, we got CrebleStar with a Robot Master advantage on MetaLow, mostly thanks to that very, very evil Crashman climb.
What, 2-screen advantage at this point? I think they're pretty close to each other right now, if Tracker is right.
I'm pretty sure I saw 2 Robot Masters left on MetaLow's end.
Okay, we'll get them checked off and put up properly once we're out of this stage and see who he has left.
Yeah, because the amount of time that MetaLow spent on Crash could not been that close, even with the death that CrebleStar experienced.
Yeah,
the tracker doesn't seem accurate, but like I said,
we'll figure it out.
Meanwhile, on top of the treehouse, we find a couple of birds and some frogs. So the top of the treehouse is pretty much exclusive for amphibians and avians.
Those crash bombs fly. That is some serious speed right there from them.
We got a question in chat about completed seeds. Probably in older versions, we had seeds that were probably harder to be complete, especially thanks to some quality of life additions, such as Airman stage. there are situations where the burst could have gotten rid of the lightning lore clouds, since the older versions did have that open air section with the clouds. Clouds could despawn thanks to birds. Also, with the force beams, there were situations where the beam speed was actually randomized, and very fast beam speeds could make it likely impassable, especially if Quickman was locking the time stopper. But thanks to later quality of life adjustments, these are more than likely to be completable.
If you're just tuning in with us right now, we are in Game 2 of a potential best of 3 of this loser's bracket for the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament 2020. This is make or break for Kreble right here, who, as we can see, is going into to Wily right now. And confirmation right there that Bubble is the one that Meta did not have yet, so we will get that checked off. If you're curious about what this tournament is this time around, it is a no-zips tournament. So you'll be seeing, as you saw there with Woodman, the completion of every single stage as they're properly supposed to be played in the vanilla game. Of course, that's about the only thing that's going to feel vanilla about this randomizer.
And while the explanation was going on, we got the siren signal from our Wally capsule, the best eyebrows ZigGaming, pretty much just alerting us that we got ourselves a game to play. Once again, we got a randomized color, we got a randomized weakness for our Mecha Dragon. It's up to you, and of course we commentators as well, to guess that color and that weakness. And this time for me, we're gonna stick with, I'm gonna do my other favorite. I like to see some grayscale dragons, any shade of gray, silvers, whatever have you. And this time she's gonna be weak to the metal blades.
I never seem to guess right, so I'm just gonna be wrong again. I'm gonna go with Crash and Red.
And we're hardly ever riding these things. It's just par for the course. The contract pretty much explicitly states these things. The unwritten one, of course.
So yeah, with the struggles that Meta had in that Crash stage, Kreble has a strong, clear lead right now, probably a full stage at this point. And it's going to take some serious play on Meta's part, and at least one big mistake from Kreble for Meta to catch up at this point.
And indeed, we have CrebleStar coming upon that dragon. This could be one of those situations where that death can be pretty vital. Many a runner has died to this dragon if they're not careful. Of course, since there are no boss checkpoints, this is the vanilla Mega Man 2. You go straight to the midpoint in this fight if you die. So this can be a pretty significant situation if CrebleStar falls here. And metal is not it, so I'm pretty much out of it. And of course, that had to be an accidental E-tank usage.
No! No saving that one, unfortunately. You are falling off.
Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. So yeah, but it's gonna. But MetaLow still had quite a bit of issue in Crash amongst other places. So even though that death is definitely costly, CrebleStar still has just a slight advantage. But he's gonna need to take care of his item one ammo, because we're gonna be needing that maybe for the rest of the stages.
What it does is it takes what was a full stage lead and cuts it back to about a half a stage lead at this point. Meta is just by grace of that death is steadily catching up.
So we got CrebleStar with round 2 here, and hopefully CrebleStar is able to balance himself a little bit more stably. Also, he still has yet to find a weakness. Quick Boomerang, Metal Blaze, those are out of the picture. Buster out of the picture. We still have quite a few unwieldy weaknesses left in the arsenal for the Mecha Dragon. Bubble, not necessarily one of them.
Yeah, I don't think I saw anyone guess Bubble in chat. We did have a guess of Blue and a guess of Periwinkle. So, and that felt not as blue-gray as it could, but Periwinkle's fairly close. So, yeah, I'd give that to them.
So Bubble being one of our potential weaknesses for the Mega Dragon dispatches the Mega Dragon, and starting Wally 2, MetaLow is about to start his fight against the Mega Dragon. Hopefully MetaLow should be able to take him out quicker, but we're gonna see the Mega Dragon is a cruel boss.
Yeah, what Kreble needs to see here to maintain a solid lead is for Meta to take a sweet time finding that weakness, and maybe even just taking a death here as well.
And right now, he's indeed taking his sweet time. He pretty much actually ignored Bubble the entire time. And look like
Heat does the trick too, though. That was the other weakness. Managed to actually melt off that pretty well. Meanwhile, Kreble finds that the air shooter is the one that's going to break these crash walls this time.
So yes, this is restreamed. It's being restreamed. So we will have boss of it later on. Of course, this will be uploaded to YouTube at some later point as well, since this is being restreamed onto our glorious SpeedGaming 6. Thanks to SpeedGaming 4, of course, letting us showcase this randomizer as a whole. God bless you, SpeedGaming. We adore you.
It's great. It does sometimes take them a week or so to get stuff up, but yeah, if you just keep track of the SpeedGaming channel, all the MM2R VODs have been going up on there within a timely amount of time. So you'll find this match and many others up there as well on the SpeedGaming channel over on YouTube.
Meanwhile, we find that air shooter is our wall weakness, so that's one weakness down for the blue beams. But right now we got a Pico Toaster sighting, and CrebleStar this time is starting with the Buster here. Unfortunately, it's not Buster Week this time, so he finds metal again, but once again, I'm not sure. I think we might have a better weakness to find here.
Yeah, 4 hits right there to take it out. With that, that's a fairly substantial bit of ammo consumption right there. Definitely close to a brick per metal blades that are being used. Maybe even a little more due to the fractional way the ammo works. And ouch!
That is really bad. And MetaLow did the suicide drop as well and was successful. And he finds the god weakness as well in one-shot leaf shield. CrebleStar basically getting one of the worst deaths. 2 of the worst deaths in the boss fights.
That one is a costly one.
And he is low on item 3. He needs to take time to refill the item 3. This is a nightmare scenario for CrebleStar. This
is definitely advantage meta at this point. That lead that he had just melted away across these 2 stages, and it is now all in MetaLow's court at this point.
I don't know if CrebleStar still had a weapon on screen so he couldn't get to the boss scenario, or he got greedy. Whatever the case may be, when you're in a situation where you're 1 hit away, especially from the Pico units that deal immense amount of damage, you need to use your E-tanks when you think you're in a dangerous position. CrebleStar this kind of this unfortunate situation, and this definitely at this point, unless MetaLow winds up having a situation where he throws just as hard, MetaLow is on the fast track to winning this match and the entire race to move on.
Yeah, and Kreble is in a position where he's probably going to have to grind for weapon ammo as well, and using up the E-tank here, unfortunately, as well. Because if that metal blade ends up being like the weakness for anything else coming up, he's gonna need ammo for it.
Meanwhile, we got MetaLow going through a very tame Wally 3, and he's about to face the Guts team. We're gonna see if he's Bust Weak or he's gonna be doing some weakness hunting.
Still be hoping for a Periwinkle boss to actually get something fairly close here. A little more cyan maybe than I'd qualify it as, but it's about as close as the NES can do for that.
MetaLow rolling the dice a little bit on the Guts tank, but was able to take him out with a vanilla weakness in the Quid Boomerang.
Me too. No pun intended.
So we actually got ourselves a Lavender Hill this time, probably as close to purple as we can get in Wally 4 in this particular juncture of the race, but we're gonna see how the anxiety rules are gonna treat MetaLow.
As we're treated to a lovely rendition of, if I'm not mistaken, Sparkman.
Yep, that is indeed Sparkman. A little bit played in a different key, but definitely Sparkman.
The differences between the Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 audio engines, for sure.
MetaLow doing the Buster only strats for the Spikes pit area. There's one fake floor, you never know where it is because it's randomized. There are specific places where you can safely navigate and jump in between them, and MetaLow just did that extremely skillfully.
Quickly fighting that Guts tank weakness right there, immediately moving to the boomerangs, making short work of that boss, and moving on to the next stage. Are actually appropriately named Purple Helpful ones.
MetaLow going to our final dangerous room. It is fairly empty. It's basically a rest home.
Oh, just enough item 2 ammo to make it over there. Does a good dive in, gets over here, quick a bit of pause strats, able to do the jump over for this next platform, and he is through this section. Oh no, Kreble falling all the way back down and through another section and having to make the climb back up here in this section again. Oh, don't even need to worry about the air shooters, apparently. That is a big issue for Kreble, actually. We see that the metal blades are the weakness here for these beams here. I do not know if Kreble managed to pick up a bunch of ammo for that metal blade, but if he is low on it at that point, it's going to make fighting this boss quite difficult, while Meta, finding that god item, is able to just quickly clear through it and get on to the next stage of Wily. So going clockwise around, remembering that item weakness for Heatman right there. Takes it out with Leaf Shield. We're moving on to Woodman. Get some, I believe, Mega Man X music. I love this. Sigma Tower. I want to say, I could be wrong. Kreble making it through that platform section while Meta is taking on this Metal Man who goes down easily towards the Busters. Onwards towards Bubble Man, just making short work of these bosses. Ah, Mega Man X2 Magna Centipede, which is why I thought it was a Sigma one, because Magna Centipede shows up in there as well. Oh, that game and its music. Using the tether ball here of this Flashman, getting him bouncing back and forth. And we're going to see if Kreble hasn't... Yeah, he did do his refill of his Metal Blade. Very smart. Able to use the God Weapon here and take these guys out. Quickly clearing through these enemies. While Meta takes on this Airman. Gets a good pattern here for the first few shots and is just melting down that Airman and his health. And we're almost towards the wet Crash Man right here. Crash seems to be fairly floaty right here, actually making this fight somewhat manageable in this room. Kreble joining on the boss fights, coming in for this Quick Man that wants to do very jumpy stuff, but actually doesn't seem to want to run too fast. And his boomerangs just fly all over the place. Same fight for both of them, in fact. Meta's down, Kreble's down. Kreble going back the other way as Meta comes in here for this Wily Machine fight. And we're going to see whether or not Buster is going to be the weakness for both. And it is. Okay. Once again, Wily Machine making it way too easy for our competitors. Getting a quick refill on some of the ammo, and we're fighting off the second half of the Wily Machine as if it was nothing. And with that, Meta is going in for the final Victory Road stage. Gonna see if he can cement this win, take both wins here, and finish up this best of 3 early, sending Kreble packing. Oh, and Kreble takes a awful fight right there. Awful death right there in the Airman fight. Oh, Victory Road give me one of my favorite tracks from this randomizer. The Final Fantasy III end dungeon music. Love this. And we are going to see what the alien fight is going to have for us for this final weakness here. One last fight, one last time for Meta. Can he cement this victory? Green alien, very lovely green, honestly. Not Buster, not Heat. It is Leaf Shield. Yeah, it's Leaf Shield. Those pixels were hard to see, but quick work. Meta takes out the alien with the Leaf Shield, and with that, that will finish this round. 2 wins to 0. Meta is gonna take it. GG's indeed. And we'll switch back to Kreble to finish this out and see them while we wait to see if Meta wants to come in for an interview. Kreble making short work of that Meta Man. Okay, Meta is not going to be joining us in chat. Going to go off and catch up on some sleep, which we cannot blame him for. This had to be stressful, so I just want to say big GG's to Meta, and we will finish this out with Kreble to finish out this series. Going into the Heatman fight. Going to finish this one off. Heatman did not seem too hard previously. This time, actually, now it's... Oh, I'm trying to remember the weakness for it, right? That was why it wasn't, because the Woodman weakness wasn't too bad at all. And with this, Kreble is now coming in for his Wily Machine fight. Gonna see if he immediately starts with Buster, which why wouldn't he? And he does. Immediately finds that weakness. Plows right through the first half of the Wily Machine. Doesn't even look like he's gonna bother with the refill. Oh, yeah, there you go. But doesn't look like he's going to bother refilling any of his ammo at this point. He is just going to go for the kill and make his way over to Victory Road, as brought to you by Final Fantasy III's final dungeon. I'm down here getting past these little lava droppers right here, blood droppers, acid droppers, whatever you want to call them. Just chugging his way right through, doing the proper strategy to get through this. Just keep running, don't even pay attention, it's fine. Here we go with this, once again, very lovely looking green alien. We'll see how long it takes for Kreble to figure out the Leaf Shield as this final weakness. Nope, no, it's not quick. Not gonna be Bubble. He finds it. He does, looks like has enough ammo for it, just has to survive. Manages to get through it, finishes it up, and GG's to him. That will be game 2, set and match as Meta takes this, but a GG to Kreble for finishing this out. Well done indeed. We'll just check and see if Kreble wants to come in for an interview. Take a moment for that, but we want to thank everyone for watching this. If you are interested in the Mega Man 2 Randomizer, we invite you to come check out the Discord, as well as, you know, come and check out everything that's going on. Volunteer to help out with the tournament. We're always looking for people to help out. It's a great randomizer, a great time. You can find it online and come join in on all of the fun here. Make it easy, make it difficult, make it play the way you want. Kreble has joined us in the booth. Kreble, GG's, well done there. I the loss must sting a little bit. You played remarkably well, all things considered.
Thanks, man. Well, yeah, I had some quite bad mistakes in the second run, let's say. The first one was not that bad, but I think if I did not chickened out maybe of Heat Man, I would have gotten through, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think on the first one when we were checking it out, the timing on it was those 2 deaths in Heat Man. Like, I don't know if you would have won on that one, but it would have been within, like, you know, enough that we would have had to have photo finished that win, certainly.
Yeah. And the second run, like, I think I lost my confidence when I died to the dragon. Like, that's always like a big blow.
Yeah, that one hurt. That loss there, and then the death you took against the Pico machine, that was enough for Meta to catch up, because you had, before coming into Wily stage 1 for him, you had a 1-stage lead, basically.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was just overconfident when I was in Pico. Like I thought, yeah, maybe I could take another hit, but when it got me, it was just like, oh no, I'm done.
I feel you right there. Yeah, the fight there, those 2 fights there really just kind of balanced themselves. But what gave you the lead originally was that Crashman climb with the fire tossers. Yeah, Meta actually died there after getting stuffed by them, and it took him, I'd say, over a minute to get through that whole area because he had to recharge his weapons as well. So, so for there, you had a substantial lead because of that, unfortunately, like, bled off afterwards.
Yeah, well, I guess it's my nerves that got through me.
I can understand, especially coming in with a loss after the first game.
Yeah, like that. It's always like nerve-wracking, like trying to get through the second run. Especially the second run was rougher than the first one. Second seed was a little bit more hardcore, let's say.
Even though you were on easy, the randomizer was like, "I'll call that shot."
Yeah, like running on normal is usually a slap to the face. Going in there confident, your confidence usually gets a bad down boost.
So, out of curiosity, having played other randomizers before, I know like back-to-back seeds sometimes can get in your head. When you're playing Mega Man Randomizer 2 like this, do you find that you're remembering some details from the first one for weaknesses or things you're supposed to do or whatever? Is there any like level of confusion between the 2?
Yeah, sometimes you can, like, it's hard, especially when you go through a 3 race, it gets more confusing because like you already had 2 seeds with weaknesses going on and you tried remembering all the stuff. But yeah, sometimes you gotta try to figure out, like, was this seed or the other seed?
I understand. So this was your last match of the tournament. Unfortunately, with this loss, you are out. How do you feel about your time in the tournament? How'd this go for you? Anything that you liked? Anything that you're going to think about doing differently for next time?
Well, I had fun, man. Like I didn't expect to go like with the zipless hidden stage. Like, that was a nice category though. Like, it makes up for a lot of suspense, and it was my first year in the Mega Man 2 Rando. I'll definitely be back on the next journey, and. Yeah, lots of fun. Lots of good opponents there. And GG to MetaLow also, man.
So any final thoughts from you before we decide to wrap this one up then?
Well, like I said, I'm going to be back for more Mega Man 2 Rando stuff. I'm always doing Mega Man stuff anyways, so... yeah, GG's to every contestant that's going to go into this, and best of luck.
Well, GG's to you. That was a great run, no matter how it ended up.
Thank you very much.
And with that, we're going to wrap this up right now. I want to thank our 2 runners, and make sure you give them a follow, MetaLow and CrebleStar. Thank, of course, my co-commentator, LV Creed, who unfortunately had an internet issue right near the end, had to bounce out. But thanks to him, follows for everyone here. If you're interested in the randomizer, check it out online. Website is up there, so you can go get it. And then come join the Discord. I know links have been posted in the chat and should be on the VOD later when it takes up to SpeedGaming. Until then, from the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Committee, I am DarkMiniX. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Peace. All right.